Hello, I'm making my first recording on YouTube, and it's been an interesting process. I was having trouble with my Chrome browser, but I'm in my Internet Explorer, and I was able to make the connection. So now that I'm on the camera and I'm seeing myself, I hope that you all are comfortable looking at this picture. And I was going to talk about Bloom's taxonomy. There is an old Bloom's taxonomy and there's a new one, and I'm going to grab a few papers here behind me. Okay, Bloom was an educational psychologist, and he developed a chart, and in this chart what he wanted to do was to describe categories of thinking that everyone does, and he wanted to hopefully help educators to be able to use these. And it started out in gifted education, but as so many things go in education, they found out that it was good for all students and not just gifted students. And so in the original we can see that the base of the triangle is knowledge, and that's very important. Teachers work on building up background knowledge for their students. Comprehension and understanding what's going on is important. Being able to apply this to everyday problems and life is also important. Analyzing situations. Can they be improved? Are you satisfied with the way things are? And then synthesis, where you put all your different ideas, learnings, new learnings, concepts together. And then in the original, the top was evaluating, and evaluating your studies of everything that you had done to see if there was anything new that you wanted to come up with, or if there was more knowledge that you needed. And then it was starting at the base of the triangle. Well, one of his students decided to recreate the Bloom's taxonomy, and so I'm going to show you that one. And this is the new Bloom's taxonomy, and you can see that at the bottom, instead of saying knowledge, it says remembering. And so the idea is that whatever you do know, you also remember. It takes it a little bit further in the way that I look at it. And then for the next step up, it is understanding, and I'm noticing that these all seem to end with ing, so it's an active verb, and that makes a difference in the new taxonomy that we're seeing. Then the old one was application. This is applying, where you're applying your knowledge, then you're analyzing it, and that seems more of a user-friendly terminology to me on all of these so far. Then you're evaluating, and remember that was at the top before, and now it's second from the top. At the very top is creating. And today I want to suggest that when I was thinking of what to talk about, I did pretty much start in an opposite way. I started with creating an idea. What was I going to do? And evaluating how would that come across on my first YouTube. And then I was analyzing some of the things that I had printed out and figuring out how I wanted to apply that. And so I decided in my application, in order to develop some understanding among educators, I wanted to come up with an idea of inverting the new taxonomy. So I'm going to take this chart I was just talking about. I'm going to turn it upside down, and I typed this up. And now if I can get this on the camera, I'm a little new at this. I was remembering, and I wanted to remind you about the Bloom's taxonomy. I think so many of you have probably studied this if you've been studying an education course, or you are a teacher already. And understanding the differences between the original Bloom's taxonomy and this new one, I believe, are important because we apply them a little bit differently. Now, usually a good teacher will take and try to develop a knowledge background and familiarize the students through a variety of means. It might be a lecture, it might be a PowerPoint, it might be having a guest speaker come to the class, or having a number of sources. And then you analyze how all of this comes across to your students, and good teachers monitor and adjust for the content area, don't they? and they evaluate how the lesson went, what they would do differently with their students. And in a collaborative classroom, they often have peer sessions, person to person, or in a small group, 2 to 4 people usually in a collaborative group, that evaluate how things are going as they're doing their study. And this can lead to creating perhaps the final product might be a research paper that's properly annotated, and the ideas are put forth in new ways, so it is a creation. Perhaps a story or a drama or a diagram or a chart. Maybe there's a play or something like this that's created for an expose of different characters in a historical situation, for instance. There's a number of ways that this can be applied by taking this and turning it upside down. So I think my point that I want to make today is that we're always in a process of creating as educators and trying to evaluate what can we do to make the lesson more meaningful and powerful so that our students will remember that and then go from remembering all the way to creating according to the new Bloom's taxonomy. Thank you. Bye-bye now.